Hey, Jasen Rice here, Lotpop. Going to do another LotParty tip. And we're looking at, I'm going to give a projections on what the next 45 to 90 days of used cars looks like. These projections are based on looking at the last trending and tracking over the last 6 years of the data that we've seen. Now, obviously, I'm going to do these projections based off of the last 6 years trends that we've been looking at. But obviously today's economy and things like that are a little bit different right now. Hey guys, thanks for joining, Stephen, Ray. So what I'm going to look at is, again, what I'm going to go over is trends that we've seen in the last 6 years and things that I would anticipate happening this year based on those trends, other than some magical things falling into place or the economy and stuff like that. So here are a few of the things. Now, I warned about the April, May, June kind of slowdown, and that did happen for a lot of dealers. Things started slowing down a bit. And then July and August, we should see an uptick in traffic. When we tracked and trend out shopper counts online through like Auto Trader and stuff, we usually see about a 3 to 8% uptick in shopper counts in July and August over June, April, May, and June months. So there's a little bit more shopper activity, but I think that mostly comes from the summer sales events for new cars. So that's going to be happening right now. New car sales are down, and they've been trending down the last year to date. So I think the manufacturers are going to be really ramping up some incentives for everybody. So you're going to be looking for that traffic for new cars, which can trickle over to used. So for used cars, what I would do is I would warn you to be very aggressive on your late models, get those things moving, get your 18s, and if you have any used 19s, get those moving, especially if they're not your franchise. But if it's your franchise, maybe really focus on CPO for good switch cars, off of new car traffic, switch cars for CPO. So I think CPO and late models will be good, but they're also, if it's your franchise, but they're risky if they're non-franchise and stuff, and they're still going to be risky depending on the new car incentives. So late models, it's better safe than sorry. Get them moving. Get them off your lot sooner than later, so you're not competing against the new car summer sales events. Then what happens though, so you're going to have some good traffic, good shoppers going on, but the engagement might be on new. So again, used will be a little bit risky. And what we're seeing, what I've seen in a couple markets, shopper counts is uptick, but inventory levels have increased a ton too. I think dealers had a strong March, maybe a decent April, and they went out and bought a bunch of cars in May and June. And I think these cars are starting to sit, and you might be seeing that in your day supply numbers, like your average day supply in your inventory. The market day supply has been increasing. And again, it's due to that influx of inventory. Dealers bought up, and then the traffic has been lighter. So cars are sitting a little bit longer right now. June, July should bring a little bit uptick, but it's mostly going to be a late model new car stuff or new car activity. So watch your late models. You probably can do very well on your cheap stuff right now, especially kids going back to college or summer, and you'll have that summer uptick or college kid car uptick, high school car uptick a little bit. Then you're going to run into, so once July, August peaks, by mid to last end of August, I'd start slimming down that inventory because we see the shopper counts in September, October, and November drop off each month, anywhere from, again, 3 to 8% shopper count drop off. So we're going to go in slower months, September, October, November. December kind of upticks with the end of the model year clearance that a lot of new car manufacturers do. And of course, January, February, March, they uptick with tax season. So the December uptick, but again, most of that activity happens in December is all that attention new cars are getting. So going into October, November, I'd be lightening up on my late models, getting out of them, because you're going to have so much incentives going on the new ones that the late model used are going to be very hard to move. So keep those moving. So that's projecting 6 months down the road, but 45 in the next 45 and 90 days. So what you have going on right now in July and the rest of August, I get your late models moving because it's summer sales events and these manufacturers are going to have good incentives, get late models moving, but also maybe have some CPO for good switch cars. If it's your late model, your franchise models, they might be able to be good switch cars. But keep those moving, drive down your average investment right now, keep the cheaper stuff there so you're not competing against these new car incentives. Then start slimming your inventory down in the last week or two of August, going into a little bit lighter September, October, November. This is all based on the last 6 years of trends. It's been pretty accurate so far this year. When I look at the first quarter and what we looked at in trends, it's been pretty darn accurate. And everybody could say, yeah, well, my used car sales are up. But again, if it's up 10%, the market trends are still going to be the same. People are going to shop in these trends. So you might have an uptick in used car sales, but it's still going to be lighter than what it was in March, or it might be lighter, a little bit better than it was in May. So you're going to have these adjustments to make. But remember, new cars, I think I'd be a little bit on late models, getting them moving. So hope you find that helpful. I was going to go over something else, but it slipped my mind. Hope that's helpful. Again, keep that inventory clean. Focus on your first 30. You want to get 60 to 70% of your sales in the first 30 days. That's where you get your gross. But in order to do that, you got to be carrying 60 to 70% of your inventory fresh to be able to sell them 60 to 70% fresh, which means you can't have any age, which means you got to have good turnaround time. With that being said, again, I just put out a batch of them, probably 100 or so last week. We've got these first 30 wristbands, white or orange. I'll send them to any dealer, no cost. Just tell me how many. It doesn't matter if you're ordering 5 or 15. The shipping's not any different. Just message me, name and address and how many you want. I'll send them to you. These wristbands, I'd give them to team members that are involved with the inventory. So every day, it reminds you to focus on that first 30. Keep your fresh inventory, current inventory levels high, and get the age going and get 60, 70% of your sales out of there, which means your turnaround time, your porters, everybody needs to know how important the first 30 is, how your pricing is adjusted, how your wholesaler or your buyer, how to keep feeding the beast and putting new cars into our fresh inventory. So, and staying ahead of that. So if anybody wants any of these wristbands, I'm not afraid to send them anywhere. I've been sending them up to Canada and stuff, which sometimes isn't cheap, but just let me know. If you want a free inventory evaluation, LotPop.com, JRice at LotPop. If you want to give me JRice at LotPop.com. If you want to give me an email, 844-LotPop. All these videos and tips go on to our YouTube channel, Lotpop Inc., and I also load them up on SoundCloud, which then iTunes or podcasts on Apple or Droid devices. Just go to SoundCloud or your iTunes and listen to the podcast. Thanks. I hope this was helpful.